Welcome, miladies of inestimable value. The loudest applause is often for those who need it the most, but silence, that belongs to the truly powerful. Here's a fact to chew on. Studies show that most people spend up to 80% of their conversations talking about themselves, fishing for approval or basking in the warmth of attention. But then there's the Sigma female, unbothered, unfazed, and absolutely uninterested in your claps, likes, or double taps. Why? Because attention isn't her oxygen. It's your distraction. She operates in a realm where validation comes from her own grit and goals, not from fleeting praise. While the world's busy screaming for recognition, she's quietly achieving what they'll only notice when it's too late. So, if you've ever wondered why Sigma females don't crave your spotlight, brace yourself. This isn't your run-of-the-mill, I'm not like the other girls story. It's a masterclass in prioritizing purpose over people-pleasing. Let's dive in. Trust me, you'll need to hear this. Number 1. Attention is distracting, not rewarding. To a Sigma female, attention feels like an interruption, not an achievement. While others might crave the spotlight as a form of validation, she sees it as noise that distracts from the things that genuinely matter: her goals, her growth, and her peace of mind. It's not that she's trying to be mysterious or aloof. She simply understands that chasing attention often means sacrificing focus. And for her, focus is everything. It's the quiet engine behind her creativity, her success, and her self-discovery. The thing about attention is that it comes with strings, expectations, opinions, and more often than not, judgment. People start watching, not always because they admire, but because they want to critique, compare, or control. A Sigma female sees this for what it is, an emotional tug-of-war she has no interest in playing. She's not here to entertain or prove herself to anyone. Her energy is sacred, and she's not about to waste it performing for an audience that might not even understand what she's truly about. What sets her apart is her ability to thrive in silence. She doesn't need someone watching to feel accomplished. In fact, she works best when no one is looking, when the world isn't pulling at her from every angle. This freedom to move in her own space without the weight of other people's gaze is where she finds her strength. She's not avoiding attention because she's insecure. She's avoiding it because she's too secure to need it. For her, attention isn't a reward, it's a distraction. And when you've got your eyes set on the bigger picture, there's simply no time for distractions. Number 2. They'd rather build than brag. Sigma females have no interest in trading substance for spectacle. To them, attention is cheap. It's easy to get and even easier to lose. But building something extraordinary? That takes grit, focus, and the kind of discipline most people can't sustain. While others are busy shouting their achievements from the rooftops, Sigma females are busy laying foundations that speak for themselves. They understand that true success isn't about how many people are watching. It's about what remains long after the audience is gone. Bragging is a game they've never cared to play. Why waste energy convincing people of your greatness when you could invest that same effort into actually being great? Sigma females thrive on progress, not praise. They're driven by the satisfaction of creating, innovating, and achieving, not for the sake of applause, but because it fulfills something deeper within them. The work itself is the reward, not the recognition. And here's the thing: their silence isn't a weakness. It's their ultimate power move. While others are busy trying to impress, Sigma females are building something so solid that it doesn't need validation to stand tall. Whether it's a career, a passion project, or simply their own personal growth, they'd rather let their results do the talking. Bragging might win attention in the short term, but building wins respect, and that's a currency they value far more. In the end, a Sigma female knows that when you're truly extraordinary, there's no need to announce it. The world will notice when the time is right, and by then, she'll already be on to her next masterpiece. Number 3. Attention is fleeting, legacy is forever. Sigma females understand a simple but profound truth. Attention is like a gust of wind. It comes fast, feels big for a moment, and disappears just as quickly. They've seen how easily people jump from one trend to the next, how quickly yesterday's stars fade into obscurity. And they've decided that kind of fleeting recognition isn't worth their time. Instead, they focus on something far more enduring, a legacy. A Sigma female's life isn't about impressing people in the moment. She's playing the long game, pouring her energy into building something meaningful that will stand the test of time. Whether it's through her work, her relationships, or her personal growth, every move she makes is deliberate. She's not interested in short-term wins or shallow praise. She's building a foundation so strong that it won't just be remembered. It will inspire others for years to come. The thing about fleeting attention is that it demands constant maintenance. You have to keep feeding it with new tricks, new performances, new ways to stay relevant. But a legacy is self-sustaining. Once it's built, it doesn't need to be hyped or announced. It simply exists, unshakable and undeniable. Sigma females understand this difference, and it's why they refuse to chase the spotlight. They know that the world will eventually forget about the loudest voices in the room, but it will never forget the ones who quietly made an impact. For a Sigma female, it's not about being noticed. It's about being remembered. And when you're focused on creating something timeless, the momentary buzz of attention feels trivial in comparison. She doesn't just want to exist in people's memories, she wants to leave behind something that shapes them. That's the kind of spotlight she's after, the one that never fades. Number 4. Their achievements speak for themselves. Sigma females don't waste time hyping themselves up because they know the power of letting their achievements do the talking. In a world where everyone seems obsessed with self-promotion, they stand out by doing the exact opposite. They're not interested in empty bragging or trying to prove their worth to others. They focus on the work itself, knowing that results always speak louder than words. The truth is, Sigma females are builders, creators, and problem solvers. They'd rather invest their energy into perfecting their craft or pursuing their goals than trying to convince others of their greatness. For them, true respect comes from what you've accomplished, not how loudly you talk about it. Their talent and dedication are impossible to ignore, and that natural magnetism draws admiration effortlessly. They've also figured out something most people haven't. When you rely on words to inflate your image, you're setting yourself up for failure. Words can be challenged, forgotten, or overshadowed, but actions leave a permanent imprint. Sigma females have mastered this quiet confidence. They don't need to broadcast their success because it's already written in the results they've achieved. Whether it's building a career, mastering a skill, or staying true to their values, their accomplishments are undeniable. And here's the best part. When their work speaks for itself, it silences critics without them having to lift a finger. There's no need to explain, argue, or defend. They let their achievements shut down any doubts. Sigma females know that actions not only outshine words, but also have the power to inspire others. They're not in the business of chasing attention. They're in the business of earning respect. And once earned, it's impossible to ignore. Number 5. They see attention as a trap, not a prize. To a Sigma female, attention is a double-edged sword wrapped in shiny paper. It looks tempting, but the moment you grab it, you realize it's more trouble than it's worth. Sure, it might feel good in the moment, but what comes with it? Scrutiny, unsolicited opinions, and a constant pressure to perform. And if there's one thing Sigma females can't stand, it's being boxed into someone else's expectations. They'd rather bypass the whole charade and stay focused on what actually matters, their purpose. Attention for them isn't a prize to be won, it's a trap designed to pull you off course. The moment people start watching, they start judging. Every move gets dissected, every decision questioned, and every success diluted by the noise of opinions that don't even matter. Sigma females see this for what it is, a bait that distracts from their goals, their peace, and their authenticity. They're not about to trade their freedom for a spotlight that burns too hot. What makes Sigma females so unique is their ability to thrive without an audience. They don't need applause to validate their efforts or acknowledgement to fuel their drive. They operate on their own terms, in their own time, and with a level of focus that most people can't sustain. The lack of attention isn't a void for them. It's a shield that keeps the unnecessary drama out of their lives. By avoiding the trap of attention, Sigma females stay in control of their narrative. They don't let the world's noise dictate their path, and they certainly don't let fleeting admiration distract them from building something real. While others chase the bait, they stay locked in on their purpose, knowing that true success comes not from being seen, but from being unstoppable. Number 6, they don't need witnesses for their success. Sigma females operate on an entirely different wavelength when it comes to success. While others crave applause and external validation to feel accomplished, they couldn't care less about who's clapping or even watching. For them, success isn't a performance, and it doesn't require a single witness to be real. It's deeply personal, defined by their own standards, not by society's shallow benchmarks or anyone else's opinions. They thrive on the satisfaction of knowing they've pushed their limits, achieved their goals, and stayed true to themselves. Whether anyone notices or not is irrelevant. Their fulfillment doesn't come from recognition, it comes from mastery. They could conquer a mountain and never post a picture because the climb itself is what matters, not the crowd at the bottom waiting for the selfie. Here's what sets them apart. Sigma females don't measure their worth by external milestones like awards, likes, or titles. Instead, they ask themselves one simple question: am I better than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, that's all the validation they need. They know that true success isn't about impressing others. It's about growth, resilience, and the quiet pride of doing what they said they'd do, even when no one was watching. In a world obsessed with broadcasting every accomplishment, Sigma females are a refreshing contradiction. They don't need an audience to prove their value because their success is for them, not for show. And the irony? It's this quiet confidence, this refusal to seek attention that makes their success all the more undeniable. While others chase approval, they're too busy chasing excellence. And when they achieve it, the lack of witnesses doesn't diminish it. It amplifies its power. Because true greatness doesn't need an audience. It just is. Number 7, they don't play popularity contests. Sigma females have no interest in winning the popularity game because to them, it's a shallow competition with a meaningless prize. They don't measure their worth by how many people like them, follow them, or nod in approval at their choices. Why? Because they've figured out that popularity is often built on compromise, watering down your values to fit in, saying what people want to hear, or molding yourself into an image that pleases the crowd. And let's be real. That's not how Sigma females operate. They don't need the validation of being liked by everyone because they're secure in who they are. They'd rather be respected for their authenticity than adored for pretending to be something they're not. If being true to themselves means stepping on a few toes or ruffling some feathers, so be it. Popularity to them feels like a performance, and they're not here to entertain anyone. What makes them even more intriguing is that rejecting the popularity contest doesn't isolate them. It makes their connections deeper and more meaningful. They attract people who genuinely align with their values, not fair-weather followers who are there for the show. This quality over quantity mindset applies to every part of their lives, from relationships to their personal goals. Sigma females don't play the game because they see how toxic it is. Popularity breeds comparison, competition, and an endless need for approval. It's a hamster wheel that never stops, and Sigma females refuse to climb on. Instead, they live on their own terms, valuing integrity over image, substance over status, and peace over pointless applause. And while the world wastes time chasing superficial validation, they're busy building lives that don't need an audience to feel complete. Number 8, attention can't fill their inner void because there isn't one. Sigma females don't chase attention because they're already whole. They've done the gritty, unglamorous work of looking inward, confronting their insecurities, and figuring out what truly fulfills them. While others are running themselves ragged, trying to patch up their sense of self with applause and validation, Sigma females walk through life with an emotional tank that's already full. They don't need external attention to fill a void because, frankly, there isn't one. This self-sufficiency is what makes them so magnetic and ironically draws attention without them even trying. People are fascinated by someone who radiates confidence and contentment without seeking approval. But to Sigma females, that attention feels unnecessary, even a little hollow. They're not interested in surface-level admiration because they know it can't offer what they already give themselves: fulfillment, peace, and purpose. External validation is fleeting. It comes and goes depending on trends, moods, or who's paying attention that day. Sigma females find that kind of instability exhausting. Instead, they've built their inner foundation so strong that they don't crumble under criticism or inflate with praise. They define their worth on their own terms, not through the eyes of others. This is why they don't bother chasing attention. It adds nothing of value to their already rich inner lives. What really sets them apart is that their self-sufficiency isn't born out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. They've learned to meet their own needs, to be their own cheerleader, and to take pride in their journey without needing a crowd to cheer them on. Attention might be the currency of the world, but to Sigma females, it's just spare change. They've got something far more valuable, a sense of self that no one can take away. Number 9. Their validation comes from mastery, not applause. Sigma females don't seek validation from the outside world because they've learned the priceless skill of validating themselves. While others are chasing applause and waiting for compliments to feel accomplished, Sigma females find their satisfaction in their own growth. The real reward for them isn't external recognition, but the quiet, powerful sense of pride that comes from mastering a challenge or perfecting a skill. They thrive on the process of improvement, the thrill of seeing their own progress, the satisfaction of overcoming obstacles, and the pride of refining their craft. It's not about having others notice or acknowledge their efforts. It's about the internal drive to keep pushing themselves to be better, smarter, and stronger than they were yesterday. Their sense of accomplishment is rooted in their ability to conquer something difficult, not in the applause that comes after. For Sigma females, the journey itself is the reward. They don't need anyone to tell them they've done well because they already know. Their confidence comes from their inner dialogue, not from the opinions of others. When they achieve something, whether big or small, the feeling of having challenged themselves and succeeded is the ultimate validation. This isn't about being indifferent to praise. It's about not needing it to feel good about themselves. Sigma females know that the most important validation is the one that comes from within. They measure their worth by their ability to grow, learn, and push boundaries, not by how many people are cheering them on. In a world that's obsessed with seeking approval, Sigma females have already figured out the secret. Internal validation is far more lasting, fulfilling, and powerful than any external applause. Number 10. Emotional independence is their superpower. Emotional independence is the quiet superpower that sets Sigma females apart. While attention seekers are often tethered to the approval or opinions of others, constantly seeking external validation to feel secure, Sigma females have built an unshakable fortress of emotional resilience. They don't rely on anyone's gaze, praise, or words to define their worth. Their sense of self is rooted deeply within, fortified by years of self-reflection, introspection, and growth. What makes this emotional independence so powerful is that it frees them from the constant emotional roller coaster that most people are on. Sigma females don't need others to pump up their confidence or reassure them of their value. They've done the work to validate themselves from within, and no amount of praise or criticism can change that. If someone gives them a compliment, it's nice, but it doesn't define their self-esteem. If someone criticizes them, it's simply noise. They know who they are, and no one can shake that foundation. While others might fold under pressure, buckle in the face of disapproval, or become fixated on whether they're liked, Sigma females remain steady. They can walk away from toxic relationships, ignore the spotlight, or face difficult challenges without needing emotional crutches. This independence is their shield, allowing them to stay focused on their purpose without getting sidetracked by the drama or distractions that often come with attention-seeking behaviors. In essence, Emotional independence is the core of their strength. It's why they can navigate life with such quiet confidence, unbothered by the external chaos. They've learned that true power comes from being able to stand firm in your own worth, regardless of what others think. In a world that thrives on constant validation, Sigma females stand as a refreshing reminder that true power comes from within. They don't need attention to feel seen, nor applause to feel accomplished. They've mastered the art of self-sufficiency, relying on their own strength, values, and growth to fuel their journey. Emotional independence, internal validation, and the freedom to live on their own terms are what make them unstoppable. They don't play by the rules of popularity or chase the fleeting buzz of approval because they know that real success is quiet, enduring, and uniquely their own. Sigma females are proof that the loudest voices often fade, while the ones who've mastered their inner world leave an indelible mark on the world around them. So, the next time you wonder why they seem so unbothered by the spotlight, remember this: their worth is already secure, and their success is measured by the challenges they've conquered, not by the audience they've gathered. They don't need your attention. They're too busy building legacies that will last long after the noise fades, and that, in itself, is the ultimate form of greatness. If you've been captivated by the world of Sigma females and the power of living life on your own terms, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join the community of like-minded individuals who refuse to follow the crowd and are focused on mastering their own lives. Don't miss out on more exceptional insights, real talk, and powerful content that will keep you inspired and unapologetically true to yourself. Subscribe now, and let's keep building legacies that speak louder than any applause ever could. Thanks for watching, my ladies. See you in the next video. Bye for now, and God bless.